Hi friends, it's windy today, so I'm all locked and loaded. I'm ready to do some garden things, and I thought rather than show you when it's already done and say, hey, look at this, I would show you the process, like the before, the after, and all things in between. I think it's only fair though to take this back to 2020 and show you what this space looked like when it was a driveway. Okay, so I'm standing right in that same space right now, and it's, as you guys know, completely different. I'm always, I think people look at my garden, they go, oh, you're changing this, oh, you're changing that. I guess I don't really see it that way. And maybe I've inadvertently used the word changing. I like to think of it as gardening, as just the journey, part of the process. Figuring things out as I go. Maybe I do something and I don't like it, and then I keep working on it until I do like it. But let me turn around and show you what we're currently working on, and I think it looks pretty terrific. To this. This weekend we were looking at things. Mark's currently painting the inside of the shed doors now, so you'll see some painter's tape out and some things, but we've always wanted some kind of a paver pathway in here to break up the monotony. Hello, Robin. The monotony of a large amount of gravel. It looks amazing. I absolutely love these pavers. These were just off-the-shelf pavers from Home Depot. They're not stamped concrete. They're like a porcelain, outdoor, weather resistant, slip resistant. They actually have like a kind of a grit feeling to them, so you won't slip and slide all over, which is very important for my runny little boys that run everywhere. We don't want that. We just lay these out here. They need to be, the gravel once again, I'm raking gravel. So I'll be pulling the gravel away and laying those down and, kind of setting them down a bit. Underneath of this, I don't have any landscape fabric or anything like that. I absolutely despise landscape fabric. But I would say if you are going to use that, only use it in areas where you would have a walking path. When we started laying these out yesterday, I immediately said, this is exactly what this space needed. It's amazing how a hardscape like these pavers can soften the hardscape of the gravel, and I really think it does. It makes, it draws your eye to the shed. Of course, we'll be leveling everything. It's just temporarily laid down here now, but I just wanted to show it to you now before I get to kind of permanently setting them down. I absolutely love it. So while we're here, let's look at some plants. We've had massive rainstorms, which I am incredibly thankful for. Oh boy, we went so long without rain, and now we've had some unbelievable thunderstorms rolling through, and it's just really revived everything, including me. So I've got the Invincible Limetta. My bobos are just starting to come into bloom. The urn is looking great. I did just clip one of the spent blooms from this agapanthus. If you cut those back, it encourages more blooms, as most plants, because they're not putting that energy into seed. So hopefully I'll see some more blooms from the agapanthus. But this is indigo frost agapanthus. I had mentioned this in another video. Look at that. That is a gorgeous flower. This one's already down to zone 7. So if you've wanted to grow agapanthus and have not been in a warm enough climate, I encourage you to try the indigo frost because it is quite hardy. And then it's just simple. You can see I've got some patience around here. I dug up a little hosta and put that in there when it was kind of skimpier looking and needed to be bulked up, and some lamb's ear. Strangely, I would not normally put lamb's ear in an urn, but I kind of really love the softness and the coloring that it brings to this, especially with the strappy foliage of the agapanthus. So it's looking good. I'm really happy with it. The boxwoods are looking amazing. These are sprinter boxwoods. Now, I do want to trim these a little bit. I'm not going to do it now because it's just too hot right now. So in the fall, I will come in and give these a nice trim on top. Maybe a little bit of the width I'll take off. Not sure, because I do want those to be wider, and I want to keep them about the height they are now. I don't want them to get much taller than this. So, which leads me to something else I've been working on. So you may or may not remember, but when we took the arbor out of this space, we were left with two very angled spots here that had gravel. So this is kind of what got everything going. You know, one thing led to another this weekend, and things just kind of took on a life of their own. Sometimes that just happens. So if I have a picture, I'll share it. I was looking for one the other day and I couldn't find it. But if you can imagine, right here at the corner of the patio, it returned back like that to the boxwood knot garden and then straight. So all that little chunk right there was a corner and it was gravel. And the same here, returned like this, and it was gravel. So, you know, I'm trying to incorporate a little softness, a little bit of curves with all the straight of the boxwoods, and, you know, get more curves like I have in the back garden area. So I took some of that Echo border that I use all the time. It's called Echo border. It's recycled rubber. It's really easy to work with. Got it off the shelf from Home Depot. I've been using it for over a decade, and it's very flexible, not hard to install, and I really recommend it. But I worked on these two areas. Right now, you can see it's just, you know, I got to get plants in here. It's brand new. This I'm focusing on as kind of an herb garden, kind of a whatever I want garden, little flower pots. It's very mucky and muddy in here right now because, like I said, we had the rainstorm and I hadn't gotten a chance to put any type of shredded mulch or anything like that down, which I highly recommend because number one, retains moisture. Number two, it you know, suppresses your weeds. And number three, it keeps mud from kind of splashing up all over the place and making things look unkempt. I just brought the hose link out here and sprayed off all the little pots and things in here because all the mud had splashed up on it. As soon as I got done working in this area, you know, the clouds came in and the sky turned dark, and then we just had, you know, the massive amount of rain. So I've got little pots in here with geraniums right now, my sundial that I love, and a couple geranium roseannes in the front here, which will get big and bushy in time. And then a little corner of lavender there because I thought it would be really nice to have some lavender at the patio. So this will evolve, no doubt, but the space is here and I love it. You can see it's all muddy and sandy because that's our soil. But let me show you this. This is Lysianthus. I do not plant these from seed. I tried years ago, a couple years in a row without success. And Burpee actually sells Lysianthus starts. So I've been getting those about the last 3 years. And that one's like a creamy white color and this one's like a limey green color. So I just have those there. And my little strawberry pot. I'll probably get some more little herbs and things in here. But from what was really an unused space, this whole big chunk here ended up being just a landing spot where I would put flower pots or things and whatever and just kind of like lay them there. It ended up being just a spot to drop things, which isn't very attractive at the entryway to your patio. The mealy cup sage is beautiful. I do need it. You can see all the gravel bits in here because, like I said, I've moved areas, I've moved beds, I've done things. So anytime I dig now, lots of gravel gets kicked up. So I'm just going to say I got really good drainage here and cover that up with some mulch because there's only, you know, I'll grab a handful now and again and I'll toss it back into this space, but there's only so much you can do. And so much I care to do because I could just spend my whole life picking gravel out of here and I'm not going to do that. I've got moonbeam tick seed here, which is one of my favorites, just to show you here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut this plant back a bit because it will flush out more blooms. And I really wanted to do that. I love this plant. I love the blue and yellow together. I think it looks really, really beautiful. I'm really enjoying having this little walkway. Now this is kind of mud at the moment. I don't want the square pavers here. If I can find some that match the round ones, those were actually here. when I started to change this area temporarily. But those, again, they're from Home Depot, off the shelf. Those are stamped concrete, nothing fancy or anything. But if I could find ones that match those, I would probably put a couple of them here. I don't want to go too crazy with too many different patterns or designs. I've got circular there. I've got the square here. So I don't want to stray from that. I want to keep, it would be a matter of maybe if I found something else I liked for those, replacing them and having something match that along here, but just really informal. I've got all kinds of Nicotiana that just self-seeded that I thought would be really pretty to just let go. So I'm going to do that. And then this is a beautiful phlox. I have noticed hummingbird moth in my garden all over the place, and it particularly loves the phlox. This one, and I'll show you also, I have one called Bright Eyes at my patio. Profusion white zinnias, which you should come along and deadhead. So I will come in, see, like that one even, that's a spent bloom. It's nice because you don't really have to, it kind of just hides it. And you can see all the new buds coming in, but I will clean it up and, reserve that energy into producing more flowers. When you clip the zinnias, they branch and they create new stems with more flowers. So that's what we want. Oh, and here's another one of those indigo frost. Look at that. I got 2 blooms coming in right now on that. Veronica, this is the butterfly candy, butterfly bush, which stays so nice and mounded. I'm telling you, I've grown dwarf butterfly bushes in the past. Really stickly. I think my other varieties are Pugster, I think. But they get really like sticky and woody looking. That's the word I'm looking for. And look at all the fresh blooms getting ready to come in. I do deadhead this. This one's quite easy to deadhead. I just come in and snip the dead blooms off by hand, easy peasy. And I like to do it. I find it therapeutic to come out here and do that. And then it's just the same repetition of the plants on this side. I need to do something else with my pots here because they're like dead and kaput and just not looking good. So I'll work on that soon. Need to get some mulch in here badly because things are just looking so dry on the ground, and it is making things dry, and a need to come out and water a lot more often. So it's been a couple years since I've put mulch in, so I'll get some mulch in here. But look at this. Look how pretty. So Major Wheeler native honeysuckle on the fence trellis that I've been training, and lots of Echinacea purpurea, which is my absolute favorite. And then there's a Magnus in the front there, shorter one. I've got some poppies that are, they have bloomed already, obviously. You can see the seed pods. I absolutely love the way the seed pods look. I want these to just go everywhere in the garden. The Liatris is just starting to open up. Some penstemon. I've got Heavenly Blue Morning Glory. Don't gasp. Heavenly Blue is sterile. I've been growing this one for literally decades, since I've been, gardening at my mom and dad's house when I was little. Blue is my mom's favorite color. So, we've always got the blue lobelias and the blue morning glories, but this one doesn't self-seed. I wish it did. And you can see how prolific it is. That's just one seed. Highly recommend it. It's not like your Grandpa Ott's. That's the older variety of, not that Heavenly Blue is a new groundbreaking variety, but it's sterile, so it's not going to self-seed. Some apple blossom roses here. That's another penstemon. It's a geranium roseanne. We've got some Gara back here, and this is a white Liatris, which is really, really wild and crazy. You can see they're twisty, turny. They start to grab onto each other, and yeah. And then the Natchez white crepe myrtle are all budded up, so they'll be in bloom anytime now. This one's going to be a problem because, as I suspected, it is shorter than the other two because we have this major branch from the silver maple in my neighbor's yard there, and there's not much I can do about that. I can get up on a ladder and trim anything that's hanging over on my side, and I may very well do that, but I just don't feel like it right now. This is a gorgeous coreopsis. This is American Dream, and I absolutely, what an appropriate name. It's so beautiful. It is a dream. When the sun shines on this plant, it really, really glows. So I've got the Moonbeam Coreopsis that I just showed you in the knot garden. This one has a different habit. The Moonbeam one is more mounding, like clump forming, and doesn't really spread and seed too much. It just kind of spreads from, you know, from its own root system. Whereas this did very heavily self-seed, and I'm not mad at it. I like it. I even took some sections of it and kind of dispersed it around other areas. Very, very easy to pull. So if you're thinking about adding a lovely coreopsis, I highly recommend this one. It is ethereal and wildflower looking, just, and a native. You can't beat that. The view from this angle on the patio. I left the spent blooms up of the Ambassador Alliums because I think they are so pretty, even when they're not in bloom. Some of them started to look really extra crispy, like that one's looking a bit extra crispy. I will probably cut that one out just to ground level at this point. But yeah, everything is looking really beautiful. Let's take a quick look around the vegetable garden, and then I'll probably wrap this up. But I feel like these kinds of transitional videos showing you what's going on before it actually happens are kind of important. And oh, and then also in this area, oh God, I mentioned random. That's random. Why is that there? I'm going to take that away. I want, because this slopes down enough where I could put a rectangular piece of stone here, almost like a threshold, and then another one, and then one up here, and have it almost like step down, which I think would look really attractive. And then plant, that's creeping thyme, and then kind of tuck that creeping thyme in along and have almost like a step effect going on, which would work out really well here. Like I said, it angles down, so I could definitely make that work, and I think it would look really nice to have a little threshold there from side to side. I have been loving this fence and this arbor. This is hyacinth bean vine. Normally I grow that on the white arbor by the driveway garden there, and this year I decided to plant it here. Why not? The clematis that I have here is, you know, it's young. It's not going to do much more right now, so decided to add an annual vine here. And this is a beast. This is a beast. What is today? Today is July 1st. So here's where it is July 1st. Let's keep an eye on how far that goes. We've got some low spots here that collect a lot of water. That's where those beams were, and you can see it's all splashed up on the shed. So need to rectify that with some mulch and raise the ground up a little bit so that it doesn't have that recess. You can see that edging here also to hide the edging. My dahlias are just really taking off now. I think that super hot, dry period and then getting all that wonderful rain has just made them put on tremendous growth. I'm seeing some holes here. I think it might be earwigs. I saw a couple earwigs here. So I'll take care of that. My zinnias, these are the floret that everybody got sucked into, the like super expensive bougie floret seeds I got sucked into. So these are starting to bud up right now, and I hope they're just magical and shoot sparkles out and fireworks and stuff, because that's what I'm waiting for. This is more of my favorite, Echinacea purpurea, native, awesome, beautiful plants. Same here, some honeybees enjoying it. This plant on this side seems to be doing better than the plant on the other side. I moved these from where I moved the Japanese maple to the corner of the house there. They were in that area, and obviously they would not look right right or grow right under a Japanese maple. So here they are, and here they'll stay because I love them. And this is a bloom on that clematis. It's so teeny tiny. They're so cute and sweet. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Here we go. The cutest little flowers on these. That's Purpurea plana elegans, I think is the name. I'm gonna go with that. I've got cosmos in here. Why is it so blurry? There we go. I've got cosmos in here with the zinnias. I actually am super excited to see this. This is Thalictrum, and this got eaten down to an absolute nub in early spring. And I was so bummed I covered it with a cloche, but you can see now, and this will get huge, but it's very wispy. And if it gets huge, I'm totally cool with that. I want it to just intermingle in with the cosmos and the zinnias and the dahlias, and I think it'll look terrific. I want to show you my figs. I got to get, I have one, but of course I can't find it. Do you guys do this too, where you'll buy something, you'll put it somewhere, and then you can't find it, and you have to buy another one? Then after you buy the other one, then you find the one that you couldn't find? Yeah. Okay, you know where I'm going with this. But I have to cover up and protect my fig tree. Look at all the figs. This is Little Miss Figgy. And she's figging. She's getting figgy with it, you guys. Figs everywhere this year. You can't see, but there's some down there too. Oh my gosh. So I want to just drape a net bag over this entire plant because I had squirrels decimate. When I say decimate, I don't even, I mean, when you look up the decimate in the dictionary, you saw my previous Little Miss Figgy. So I had one 4 or 5 years ago. The squirrels ate the branches, okay? It was maybe a little bit smaller than this. They not only ate the fruit, they scissored through and brought my fig down. Oh my gosh, it was so upsetting. So I know what they're capable of. I got this one maybe 2-3 years ago to replace that one. And I'm happy that it is happy. And I want it to stay that way. I've got some eggplants and peppers in this bed. And I wanted to show you this. This is, and I have showed you this, but I'm going to show you again because I like it. This is chocolate lace flower. You'll recognize this. This is in the carrot family. And it's a pollinator magnet. I have absolutely no idea why it is 7-8 feet tall, because this is supposed to top out at like 3-4 feet tall, 3 feet tall. I've planted this other years. It's never gotten this tall. But it's a wonderful, beautiful plant. And there's a little bunny back there. Look at that. Hey, little buddy. I see you. You can stay there. Okay. Watermelon update. So I don't remember if I shared this on here or on Instagram, but nonetheless, my son Leo, that his class planted in little teeny tiny solo cups, watermelon vines towards the end of the school year. Well, actually probably a little bit before that. I think it was around Mother's Day maybe. I don't know. Anywho, it was 2 little leaves, you know, its first leaves, and he comes running to me with this little cup. I said, Leo, if anybody in that class is going to have the vine live and produce, it's going to be your mom. We're going to make sure that we see some fruit on this. I've never grown a watermelon. I've got it on a sturdy trellis here. I've got, you know, the net bag around it to protect it from the squirrels that I've been mentioning, but also to help support the weight. So as that gets, I don't even know what variety it is. It could just be a tiny little thing. I don't know, but it's going to support the weight, and I can, you know, tie it up and give it some support if it needs it. But I'm excited. He's excited. We're excited. There's a lot of watermelon excitement over here. Oh, hello. How did you get there? I just added a hose link. I'm so happy. I needed a hose link back here in the vegetable garden so badly. The way the patio garden is, that wasn't here until last July, you know, that flower bed I added by the patio, that wasn't here. So I was able to just whip my hose anywhere I wanted and it wasn't a problem. But now, because I've got the patio garden, I can't cut through it because I'm cutting right through flowers. If I try and wrap around it, even with a hose guide, it becomes difficult to pull because it's going around the bend and it's so I added this hose link I am super happy. Just a heads up, if you're on Instagram, I recommend taking a look at my Instagram page every day this week because something fun might be happening. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, Mandevilla. I just got that when I was tree shopping. I didn't get a tree, so I needed a consolation prize, and that ended up being this gorgeous Mandevilla, which I am probably, it's starting to climb up here, going to drape around the top of the window because I think that would look really pretty. Eventually, of course, I'll have my New Dawn Rose back up again. A new Dawn Rose. That other New Dawn Rose died when I moved it, which is so upsetting, but onward and upward, these things happen, and we just have to roll with the punches. That's it. That's all you can do when you're a gardener. And so that's what I'm doing. And on that note, so you can see here, like, my hose link is in the back corner by the white arbor. I can't drag it this way. And then you've got the table and the chair. It's just difficult to go all around here. So I use, there it is on the ground. I use that hose link for the whole patio garden. Anything off that way, it's fine. But dragging it here is just, it's just too much due to the obstacles that I have placed for myself. These pesky plants are getting in my way. But that's it. I hope you guys are having a great day, a great week. I hope the weather has broken for you like it has here. I am so very grateful. It's 75 degrees right now, you guys. It's absolutely glorious, beautiful. And I will see you in the next video. Hopefully by the next video, I will have those pavers set in the ground and they will look nice and level and great. Okay, I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it. And hit the notification bell. Okay, thank you. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.